Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning. So tell me, have you completed yesterday's assignment based on fruits and fruit basket? Can you tell me who has not completed? Feel free to answer. You don't have to worry about what your friends are saying. You give me your own feedback. Have you completed or not? Because I wanted to, every day I want to, this, not completed. Okay, Nilesh is saying, Kunal. Okay, fine. Yes, some of you have not yet completed. Five I could count. Only five, or are there more? Six, seven. Respond faster. No, don't say done. I'm asking you who has not done it because that number is more important. Okay, so I could count around 30 to 40 at the, I mean, I could not count 40, but 30 of you. Okay, so those 30 talk to us separately, either myself or lab faculties, and wherever you are having any specific question, get it solved. So I just hope that at least you have completed the fruits part. Some of you had said, for example, Tushar, that fruit basket part was remaining. So I'm going to revise some part of it. So let's hope that it helps you to complete your assignment. And actual problems, I told you, you can do the screen sharing with any of us, myself or any other lab faculty, and get the help and finish it. Because today we are entering abstraction, and I'm going to ask you to apply abstraction to that. It will be an easy one today. So let's get started. So I'm going to revise inheritance, polymorphism, upcasting, downcasting with your code sample, and later I'll also talk about covariance, but that will be done in a lab session. So at least everyone knows. Let me start with the revision session. So start responding faster. Everyone knows the hierarchy. So if I give you a problem statement such as fruits, apple, orange, and cherries or bananas, can you arrange it in an inheritance hierarchy? It's a Boolean question, yes or no? Of course, yes. So which is the superclass and which is the subclass as far as your yesterday's assignment was concerned? Everyone, I hope, has no ambiguity on this. So let me just open. In day 5 help, assignment help, we had discussed it in detail. So here, inheritance hierarchy always begins with the topmost superclass is java.lang.object. And here, object is extended by fruit. Check your code when I discuss the whole solution. So anyway, so you have a fruit class. Fruit has a name, color, and weight. And that is a common characteristic, common properties, common attributes among all the fruits. So whatever is common, we put it in a superclass. Then we had, check your code. I hope you have added the parameterized constructor, and with at override annotation, you have also told the compiler that this is the overriding form of the method. So answer the question. Is this at override annotation mandatory or optional? At override annotation is mandatory or optional? 100% optional, but 200% recommended. Otherwise, you will not even, if you make some error regarding the method overriding, you will not even know it, because compiler may treat it as your overloaded method or some other method, new method, and you will never notice the problem. Okay, so that is it. So here, that is why it is recommended to supply at override. So while we are at it, this is all revision. So you have to respond faster. If I ask you, what are the two different forms of polymorphism? Anyone wants to answer? One is compile time polymorphism, other one is runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism is also known as early binding detected by compiler. That is which method to be called is decided by the compiler. Okay, compiler can decide. Whereas runtime polymorphism is all about JVM resolving the method to be called on which object. So that is your runtime form of polymorphism. So tell me, what are the method overloading rules? I'm asking you, type out method overloading rules. You can write in short form. I'll understand short form. All rules, Ashutosh, in one line, not different lines. Yes. So the method name has to be the same. The argument list, method signature has to be different. And what about the return type? Return type is ignored. No return type is wrong answer. There is a return type, of course. So return type is return type of a constructor. There's no return type. So return type is ignored. Are you getting that? So tell me the next thing. Can you add overloaded methods in the same class? Yes. Can you have superclass method overloaded in the subclass? That is, can they occur in the inheritance hierarchy also? Yes. No was a wrong answer. Answer is yes. Are there any rules regarding access specifier and method overloading? I've given all that in the slide. I told you yesterday it's an important slide. Of course, there are no rules. Can you overload a static method? Answer is yes. Okay. But method overloading, is it a true form of polymorphism? Answer is no, because compiler itself can take a call. So which is the true form or the ultimate form or the important form of polymorphism is runtime polymorphism. So how do we achieve runtime polymorphism? Using method overriding approach. Okay. So tell me, what is the superclass form called? Overridden method or overriding one? N for overridden, I for overriding. The superclass form is called as overridden function, overridden method. And what is the subclass version called? Overriding or overridden. Subclass version is called as overriding one. So where will you place at override annotation? In the superclass form, overridden form, or the overriding form? Answer is in the subclass, where before overriding form, and you know the reason for checking all the rules. For detecting if there are any errors, compiler will detect it and tell us. Now tell me, method overriding rules. Is it lagging? Is my voice lagging? Saurabh, then you check your net. Okay, so here, what is it I was saying? Right, so tell me, what are the rules of method overriding? Same name, same signature. Absolutely correct, Pushkarash. Return type can be either the same or the subtype of the superclass form. Okay, so that is what is called as covariance. Today, I'll give you good examples in covariance for preparing you. So that is it. Next one. In C++, we have a virtual keyword for enabling method overriding, and there we call it as function overriding and runtime polymorphism. So tell me, in Java, is there any virtual keyword? Answer is there's no virtual keyword. Means what? Can each and every method in Java can be overridden? Yes. So the answer is all methods are implicitly virtual. But which methods you cannot override? There are three things, Sagar. So I want all three answers together. Private, static, or final. Why private methods cannot be overridden? You cannot modify something which you cannot modify something which you don't inherit. Private methods are not accessible outside the class. So if you don't inherit something, how can you modify? So privates are gone. Why static methods are not cannot be overridden? I have given you the README. When I share so much of this, so much of notes, I expect you to read it on the daily basis. Static methods, tell me, do they belong to class or do they belong to a particular object? Answer is they are at the class level. And what is the gist of method runtime polymorphism? JVM is going to decide a particular method to be called on which type of object. And the moment there is no object involved, how can you override static methods? So that is gone. And final keyword you will understand today after abstract, and you will understand that when you declare final methods, you cannot override them. You cannot change the functionality. So final later. Next question. Whenever you are deciding, people give you a lot of ready-made code and ask you what will happen. So the easy, not thumb rule, easy rule is just decide. People ask you whether there's a compile time error, runtime error, or whatever, or the output, I mean. So I'm saying, whenever you are looking at any particular code, you have to understand that Java compiler resolves the method binding by, tell me, type of the reference or type of the object? Answer is type of the reference. And JVM, to apply the runtime polymorphism, will invoke the method, will do the method binding depending upon the type of the object. You got that? Then we looked at two conversions, upcasting and downcasting. Can you give me the example of an upcasting? Write some Java code and tell me that this is the example of upcasting. Show me. Waiting for you. Write a Java line, one-liner Java code to give me the example. Prashant, your answer is wrong. So you cannot equate a person to new student array. You can say person P equal to new student. You can say fruit F equal to new mango. Mohad, what you have given was a downcasting example. I'm asking you this thing, what do you say, upcasting example. Okay. So when you have, yes, Anubhav, yes. So when you have superclass type of a reference, can it refer to subclass object directly? Directly means without typecasting. Answer is yes. Who will supply the implicit cast? Somebody said no already. Wake up. Who will supply the implicit cast? Programmer or your compiler? Answer is compiler. So let me ask you. You have object at the supermost type. Extended by employee, extended by manager, extended by sales manager. Okay. So I'll just write down that question so that it's not vague. So I'll start with this, but I'm covering that something before that. So you have the hierarchy. Object is always at the top. Sorry. Extended by employee, extended by manager, extended by, let's say, sales manager, something. So, sorry. So tell me, if I'll write something and you tell me compile time error, runtime error, or none of above. Object O is equal to new sales manager and whatever is the state of it. Compile time error, runtime error, or nothing. Answer is no error. Compiler will allow it. So here, tell me, when you say this is which kind of, okay, is this a direct referencing or indirect referencing? This is an indirect referencing. When will you say it is an indirect referencing? Type of the reference and the type of the object, when they are different, then it will definitely be, it is nothing but indirect referencing. And why this works? This works thanks to the upcasting. So when you say from sales manager, you are going to object, are you climbing up the hierarchy or are you climbing down the hierarchy? Of course, you are climbing up the hierarchy. So sales manager is, and why compiler agrees or why compiler can happily add the implicit cast? Because compiler knows that every sales manager, can I say every sales manager is an object? Of course, yes. Object is a universal superclass. So sales manager is a manager, is an employee, is an object. So no issues. Next one. Can I say employee E equal to new manager and the state? Yes or no? Of course, yes. These are the examples of upcasting, right? Can I say Sales manager SM equal to new manager. Possible or not possible? Not possible. You will get a compile time error. And if you try to force the compiler by giving the typecasting, downcasting, you will get a runtime exception, class cast exception. Superclass reference can refer to subclass object directly. But subclass type of a reference can never refer to superclass object because superclass manager has lesser number of information than the sales manager. So how can you assign this sales manager SM equal to new manager? So this will give you 100% Java C error. And if you try to apply forcefully the downcasting, the code will fail, throwing you class cast exception. Okay, so this was the kind of revision. Now let us do the revision properly. Properly in the sense, refer to your yesterday's assignment and you just have to tell me what will happen. So let us come back on the track and finish it so that we can start with today's topics. Yes, go line by line. So when I say what will happen, compile time error or no error? Answer is no error. So which is the conversion? No error. And which is the conversion which is happening here? Upcasting. I have given you a complete readme on upcasting. You're supposed to read it. At least you have to find out half an hour, 45 minutes every day, whatever, depending on how much work, how many readmes I have given, and you have to at least vertically read those. Okay, without that you cannot survive. Okay, so no error upcasting. And why compiler does it? Apple extends from fruit. So is every apple a fruit? Yes. So no issues. So now tell me, before you tell me, here is the picture. Oh, sorry. I had already shown this. So there is a common method test, which is declared in the fruit class, which is overridden as per the type of the fruit in the mango, orange or apple class. Okay. So now tell me, if I say f.test, compile time error or no error? Answer is no compile time error. So go one by one. No Java C error. Okay. Now tell me, where will compiler check? In which class compiler will check? I said compiler for the test method. Name the class. Yes, fruit is a class. Don't just super class and all. I don't understand super class. Give me the name. So Java compiler no error because it because it checks by the type of this thing. What is it? Type of the reference. And the type of the reference is fruit. In fruit class, do we have the test method? Yes. So no Java C error. But runtime goes by what? Type of the object it is, what is it called? It is pointing to. So JVM will invoke the test method on which object? Anyone wants to tell me? Test method will be called on which object? Yes. So the answer is absolutely correct. It decides by the type of the object. So test method will be called on the Apple object. Everyone clear? So this is nothing but called as runtime polymorphism, which is also known as dynamic method dispatch, because it is at the runtime JVM is deciding whose method to call, whose test method to call, or on the test method to be called on which object is decided totally at the runtime. So the whole approach is called as dynamic method dispatch is equal to runtime polymorphism. Got me? Next one. Solve these two. Compile time error, runtime error, or the output. Answer is no error. So why first line no error? Same thing. Upcasting. Every orange is a fruit, so no error. Implicit casting. And here, will there be any compiler error, runtime error? Answer is no. Whose test method will be called by the JVM? The orange's test method will be called. So here, no Java C error. Here, the test method will be called on the orange object. And very similarly, what will happen here? Test method dynamically means the decision is taken at the runtime. So it is decided all. So here also the same things. And whose test method will be called? You all know that the automatically mangoes test method will be called. So tell me, guys, when I discuss the concepts, let's say yesterday, whole of yesterday you have spent on it in the theory session and the lab session. And when I'm discussing, when I'm spending more than half an hour, 40-45 minutes in the revision, I don't know how to go even slower than this. I think you are getting over expectant. When I say a concept, you're not going to understand it on the same day. You have to give yourself, if I say something today, for example, today I'll start with the abstraction. Okay. So you are going to get the complete feel by tomorrow evening. That is theory session, lab session, and the revision session. That makes you ready. So if I say something today and you are not still clear about it by tomorrow evening, then there is a cause to worry. So, understand accordingly. If you are learning, if you are from non-IT backgrounds, non-CS backgrounds, it takes you little time to get warmed up and to understand the ideas. Okay. So that is why first week is very crucial, as I keep saying. And that is why we write so many examples. And that is why I push you to write so many assignments for your own good. Okay. So this is the part, which is, I hope everyone has understood uniformly. Have you or have you not? Okay, so now here, if you want to create a fruit basket, which will be the suitable data structure? Give me a complete answer. Don't just say Sakshi array. Shubham, don't just say array. Tell me which array. Yes, array of references is also insufficient. Array of which type of references? Fruit type of references. Guys, instead of saying so many things, anyone could have written a one-liner and finished the story. So fruit array. Don't see F and all these variable names. Why you are using horrible variable names when you can think of good variable names? So basket of fruits, the moment you say, you can visualize that it is multiple fruits kept together. So give the variable names properly. I've been insisting right from the first day we met. Still people are not following. Some of you are doing it. Some of you are still not doing it. So correct yourself. What should be the right hand side? New fruit. And here, since you take the, what is the size of the basket from the user means scanner, sc.nextend. So suppose if I give the size as 10, my size of the basket as 10, what will be the, what will happen on this line? First, the fruit array class gets loaded in the method area. Then the fruit object is created or fruit array object will be created in the heap. Fruit array object. What will be the first slot? Class pointer. What will be the next slot? First is CP. Next is length. What will be the value of the length? People are saying 0 and all already. Wrong answers. The length will be 10. And then there will be 10 slots such as basket of 0, basket of 1 till basket of 9. And what would be they filled with? Null values. So 10 nulls are sitting in our array. Okay. Now, I had asked you to solve case 1, case 2, case 3. So I'm not writing that while and switch case and all that. I'm directly starting with case 1. So of course you will initialize a counter here. You will do the boundary condition checking. So that I'm not writing. I had already written that yesterday. So here, after doing the boundary checking, okay. What is that boundary condition checking? Anyone wants to tell me? Because, I don't want to leave any ambiguity. I'm spending so much time in solving and discussing your assignments. Still, people are feeling that things are fast. So what is that boundary condition checking? If, yes, you have a counter. How much space I have? Basket dot length. So if the counter is less than basket dot length, it's good to think in the code, in code. So then you will ask user, what will you ask user? SOP, enter, what is that case 1? Let's say case 1 is mango. Enter mango's details or enter fruit details, mango details. Next line has to come from you. So tell me, what should be the right hand side? Those who have not done it, I'm helping them. Please realize that. So here, of course, you will ask the user to enter the color and weight. Absolutely correct. So what will be the right hand side? New, what is that? Mango. So mango object, and whatever the color, so sc dot next, and the weight, which is double weight, sc dot next double. Are you understanding it? I don't know how to help you further than this, I mean. And the important thing is, this mango object, will it be created in this fruit array or will it be kept outside? Of course, outside. Guys, you have array of references. So see, the same concept of array of references we are discussing for last 3 days. And seriously, I don't know how to go slower than this. So here, this is the mango type of object, but the reference I want to store it in the fruit array. So what should I assign it to? Give me the LHS, please. It should be basket of counter. And if you want to do the counter increment, that is also possible. So here you can say basket of counter plus plus, or if you don't want to use that, you can write it in the separate line, basket of counter and then counter plus plus. So here, tell me how many objects will be created in the heap when this line is executed? Exactly one object. Which type? Mango type of object. So if you really think in memory picture, what will be the, okay, let me ask you. So I'll write it down. How many slots will you show in mango object? So let's see. Give me the answer. Give me the number. 4 is a correct answer. So what will be the first slot? CP. I don't know whether you forgot about CP. CP. And then in the mango class, check the design. That is why I spent so much time in design. I don't know whether you hear me or not at that time. Are we adding any additional state, additional attributes, additional properties in the subclasses? Answer is no. So in the subclass, you cannot access the private members because it is, I mean, private members stop being visible, but they are definitely memory allocated in the subclass object. So which will be the slots here? So suppose I say name, color, and weight. Are you understanding? So I don't know how you give me different answers. Maybe you did not count CP. Okay, so this is what will be the picture. And this CP, anyone wants to tell me, will refer to what? Will it refer to object class, your fruit class, mango class, apple class, or whatever? Of course, this will be pointing to, this CP will be pointing to the loaded mango class in the method area. I'm not drawing it, but I'm verbally discussing it anyway. So the point is, before mango class can be loaded, what has to be loaded first? A child cannot exist without its parent. So first thing which gets loaded is object, then a fruit, and then a mango. Are you understanding the memory picture? I'm just verbally discussing it. Okay. So this is what will be in case 1. And similarly, case 2 and case 3. That is, add a orange, add a whatever, apple. Only thing which will change is the right hand side. So if I want to add an orange, what will mango be replaced by? Orange. If user wants to add in her basket the apple, then you will be replacing it by apple. Are those, so something like 40 people told me that assignment is not complete? Are they understanding it? I mean, I could count 30 to 40. I did not know. Okay. So is everyone clear so far? Now, here, suppose this is your basket structure. So this is an array of references. And here, what does this mean? The first fruit which I added was apple 1. Then I added a mango. Then another apple, another few mangoes, and some oranges, and some slots are empty. Let me just count. 3, 3, 6, 8, 10. Great. So this is my fruit basket structure, array structure. So can anyone tell me, what is this A1? Is it an object or is it a reference? O or R, quickly. I'm slowing down further if you have realized. So it is a reference. What is this okay, where is this reference memory allocated? Stack or heap? See guys, I asked you a little bit out of this tune question and you fail. Guys, Where is this array of references kept? Oh, sorry, where is this reference kept? In the array object. Where is this array? On the stack or on the heap? Of course, on the heap. So all these references which are put together, okay, forget it. Draw the memory picture. When you give me such a horribly wrong answer, I can't continue. Draw memory picture quickly. So after that, at least you will not give me wrong answers. Don't be lazy. Start drawing. Don't just sit back and say, let her draw it and then I will read it from the whiteboard. Things don't work that way. Pick up your writing material and start writing. Because you gave me a wrong answer. Stack heap and method area. Okay, here. So first the holder array object gets created. And before that, show that fruit array class. So here itself, array also extends from object. So right, the first thing you should show loaded in the method area is the object class. Do it fast. We don't have the whole day just talking for this. Otherwise, we'll never move on. So this is object class. Okay. And then you have got array is also an object. So now I'm showing you the other one, which is nothing but a fruit array class. So this is your fruit array. Actual name is, you should know, single, what is it called? Opening bracket, square bracket, L value because it is array of references, and then com.app.fruits.fruit. Okay, so I'm just not going to that details, fruit array class. Draw the array. So here, this is your class pointer. This is your length equal to, let's say, 10. And these are your indices 0, 1, 2, 3. And I'm not, of course, drawing. So 9. Takes a lot of time. And here, suppose the first fruit, I'll stick to my statements. I'll just take this because you gave me a wrong answer and like some of you not, but I'm talking about everyone. So here I'm talking about this picture here. Just a second. I'm just putting that right in front of you. Okay, suppose this is how the basket is. Okay, so initial value of these indices is what? What is the initial value stored there? All nulls. Don't say reference. Of course, reference, I know. I wanted the value. What is the default value of the reference is all null. So show all nulls here. So last two will be still nulls. Okay, and if I show the 8th slot here, and that will be also still null. These are the indices I'm printing. Okay, so this is the array object which is created in the heap. And if you say basket equal to this, that basket reference type of variable, since it is a method local variable, it is memory allocated here. And this basket points to this array of references. And this class pointer points to fruit array class. Are you clear so far with the diagram? I'm not yet completed the diagram. So far clear. So now mute yourself first of all. So here now when user says, when I show you this, that means the first fruit added in the basket is apple. So tell me, when you say apple, where will be the apple object created? Within the array or outside the array? Answer is, of course, outside the array. But before apple can be created, apple class has to be loaded. But apple is a fruit. So now show in the, method area, first the, first what? First the fruit class. Fruit array is different, fruit is different. Okay. So here is your fruit class. Then you show the apple class. And of course, accordingly later, mango, orange, and everything. I'm not writing everything. You at least you have to do something on your own. So here, so where should I show apple object? You already told me. Apple object cannot fit in this array. It is an array of references. It just stores the pointers. So now here start showing the apple object, which will have a class pointer pointing to apple class, which is what I asked you. And then there is some more details about string, because string itself is an object. So apple has a name by the value apple. So here there will be a name type of a reference, where here, since string is a class in Java, it is a reference type. So that I'll show you later. So the name of the fruit will be stored. Then the color of the fruit will be stored. Suppose you say apple is red or orange or reddish orange or whatever, pink or whatever, and then the weight. So here the weight will be stored. Weight is a primitive type. So weight will be stored right here. Suppose an apple is, what is it, having something like 500 grams or 575 grams, whatever may be the apple weight. And here, this is what is the apple object. Class pointer of this is pointing to the apple class. And where will be the reference? Where will I show? Where will you show the reference of this apple? Where should I show this? You have said basket counter plus plus. So now here you should show. So suppose I call it as, I'm just calling it something. So here, suppose I say A1 to keep it similar to what I've written. But what is that A1? A1 is nothing but the pointer. I'm just changing the color here, which points to this apple object. Are you understanding it now at least? So how can you give me a wrong answer? See, I've observed. If I ask you the questions whose answer I already have supplied or we have discussed it, then you are remembering it fine. That itself is achievement. But if I go a little bit out of context, some of you are answering wrong. So once again, the question, where are all these references stored? In the stack or in the heap? Of course, in the heap as a part of your array of references object. And you can fill up something more. So I'll just verbally talk about it. If I say M1, that means another basket, another fruit which was added in the basket was mango. So first, what should happen? Here show mango class getting loaded. Here you show mango object. Class pointer pointing to mango class. That is how it will pick up the overriding form of the method and all that. And then you will have the same slots, name, color, and weight. The name and color will not, they are not primitive types. So internally there will be further references to string object and all. So that part I'll show you after we cover strings or whenever I take a has a relationship, a composition, because I can say fruit has a name or whatever. Apple has a name. Apple has a color. So that time we'll discuss. But the basic memory picture is this. And how many slots are filled? First 8 slots are filled, means first 8 fruits have been created and their references are stored here. And the what is that called? Last 2 slots, 8th and 9th slots are still null because only so many fruits were added to the basket. Clear with the memory picture? No ambiguity, no doubt, no confusion. Those who have not solved the assignment, are they also clear? Okay, so now go on, move on. So this is what my question was. So this is the memory picture. Refer to the memory picture anytime. So now okay, sorry, I asked you a question. So give me now, you have to talk in code. So if this is the arrays picture, so how many fruits have been added? You all know that. So how will you display the only test of all the fruits in the basket? Write some Java code here. I want you to write some Java code in the chat. I've given you the question. Give me the answer in the chat. Talk in Java. Don't talk in English. Yes, absolutely correct. Correct beginning. Do the null checking. Perfect. Girish, your syntax is wrong. So for each fruit F in the basket, so what it will be? For each, what is the type of the reference? What is the type of the array? It is array of fruit type of references. So for each, every fruit in the basket. What is it? You don't know whether the entire basket is filled up or some of the part is empty. This part is empty. That is why I said do the null checking. Wait for collection framework. No null checking, no counter, no limitation of the size. But we're still away from it. So here, if fruit is not equal to null, then only you can call the method. And that test method was supposed to return a string. So you can simply say SOP fruit dot test. Is the code part clear, guys? I'm solving the assignment for helping those 40, 50 guys who have not completed the assignment. S out F is wrong. You're missing the point. I did not want to display the details about the fruit. I just want to display the test of the fruit, right? So what it will do is, so okay, let's look at it. So here you know what it is. For the first iteration, fruit is equal to basket of 0. But what is sitting in basket of 0? The reference to the apple. So here, when I say fruit equal to basket of 0, this is where upcasting is happening. It is a pointer pointing to object, apple object. But you know, superclass reference can directly refer to subclass object thanks to upcasting. So this is where you're already enjoying upcasting. Are you understanding? So this works thanks to upcasting. What has been casted into what? Apple into fruit. You are climbing up the hierarchy. So fine. You are just checking. So tell me, for the first iteration, is it null or not null? Simple question, simple answer. Is it null or not null? Of course not null. So it will not go there. I mean, if it is not, so it is not null. So it is going to call the method. So compiler will check by the type of the reference. Do we have the test method in the fruit class? Answer is yes. But anyone wants to tell me, JVM will apply runtime polymorphism, which is called as dynamic method dispatch, and whose test method will get called automatically? Apple's test method, overriding, don't say overridden. Overridden is in the superclass. So the overriding form. So which is that overriding form? Overriding form of the method in Apple will be called. And that is nothing but excellent example, classic example, but simple example of runtime polymorphism. Are you understanding it? So go faster and tell me, for the 5th iteration of the loop, this was the, let us say first iteration. So first one, second one, third, fourth, and fifth. So for the 5th iteration of the loop, whose test method will be called? Simple answer. Yes. Where did I talk about downcasting? Did I talk about downcasting so far at all? The downcasting was not even mentioned. We are still working on everything with the upcasting. So here, you don't require downcasting unless until you add an additional new functionality in subclass. Don't get confused. You'll get the revision of that also soon. Okay. So this whole thing, are you requiring, because somebody asked me a question, looks like confused. So do I require any downcasting here at all in the given requirement? Absolutely not. Let me say, how will you display the tests and the details? So which details I want? I want name, I want color, I want weight. I had not asked you this. I'm asking you now. Of all the fruits in the basket, anyone wants to tell me how? We have done that already. You understood the question? I want to find out the test of the fruit also and all the details of the fruit also using the toString. So that brings us to your yesterday's homework question, which of course we will handle. So here, now I want to do multiple things. So I can put it in this. So maybe first I will display test. Actually doesn't sound logical, but anyway, doesn't matter. And here, what will be the next line? SOP. Are you getting this? And when you say system.out.println fruit, what will internally it call? Fruit.toString. Okay. So compiler will check. In the fruit class, there is a toString. So now tell me here, listen to the question and answer. When you say at the runtime, for the first iteration, the toString method will be called. You know, JVM goes by the type of the object. So think and answer. Don't blurt out. Don't blurt out means don't answer without thinking. Recall your code. Consider your code and then answer. So can you tell me for the first iteration, which classes the toString will be called? The toString method will be called from which class? Don't get scared to answer. Okay, so I'm getting the answer apple. Because JVM goes by the type of the object. But guys, wake up. Not this, the other one. Wait a second. Assignment help. Have you checked your code? How many toString versions you are having? One or multiple? Or rather, have you overridden the toString method in a mango or orange or apple? Answer is no. Are you getting me? So even though it goes by the type of the object, is Apple going to call its own toString method or is it going to use the inherited version? Answer the question. Of course, the inherited version. Are you getting this? So that is what that is what was the question was. So ultimately, of course, it goes by the type of the object, but ultimately there is, so here I'll say JVM will try to invoke first for the first iteration. I'm saying apples toString. But since we have not overridden the method, since there is no overriding of this, it will call the fruits or uses, I'll say this, uses inherited version. So will it show the hash code value or will it display your name and the color and the weight of your fruit? Answer is no hash code version because our fruit class has already overridden this. Are you understanding it? So tell me, in this whole discussion, did you need any downcasting or no downcasting was required? Answer is no downcasting because all the API exists in the super type. If you are trying to access from superclass reference, a subclass object, indirect referencing, and you are trying to access a new functionality, then only downcasting is required. But I'm still not there. So now my yesterday's homework question. What was that homework question? I had given it in writing, so you can't say that we don't know about it. So when you call system.out.println any object reference, how does it internally call the toString? I gave you the hint. The answer is yes, the print address implicitly. Compiler calls toString. I did not understand your question. I did not understand, Aniket, your question. So phrase your question properly. Or later in the lab session, write it down. And then in the lab session, you can talk to me and ask. Because I did not understand your question, very honestly. So do you understand my question? I said, how will it internally call, automatically call the toString? Has anyone tried it? Some of you, 2-3 of you had given me the answer right yesterday. I don't remember whom, but yes, somebody had given. So what about the rest? Have you looked at it? Have you tried finding it? When there is a silence, it means you have not tried. So here, open the Java docs. I'd given you the clue. It is all there in the Java docs. So open API docs, Java 11 docs, index page. Okay, so can anyone tell me whose API, which class I should search for here? Whose method we are calling? System.out.println, wrong answer. What object you are talking about? No. You are basically lost. Here, when I say SOP, system.out.println, println method is belonging to which class? Print stream class. Okay, those who are not understanding my question, refer to it, the system from system. We have done it so many times. So here, go to system. From system, do it fast with me. I'm not going to be slow here because already it is 1 hour and we are still revising. So here it is out, system.out. But what is the data type of system.out? It is print stream. So I was expecting you people to answer print stream is the class you should open. So now tell me, which method system.out.println means which method should you look for? Which is the method you are going to search for? Give me the method name. It's easy one. Print stream switch method, println method. So here control F it and look for println method. So tell me, what will you call these methods? Overloaded or overridden? L or R? They are overloaded. So now tell me, when I'm passing fruit, is it a reference type or is it a primitive type? R or P? It's a reference type. And what is the universal superclass of all the classes? Is object. So can you tell me which is the version it will fit? Will it pick up? This is the compiler picking up. Character array, double float int. Which version it will pick up? Tell me. When I pass the reference, of course, universal superclass is object. So here you have to click. Are you understanding? I'm going super slow on this. So here, this is the version. This is the matching version resolved by the compiler. So read the description. Prints an object and terminates the line. Forget it. It tells you it first calls string dot value of x. The x type is object. But you will be wondering, I have not passed an object. I have passed a fruit type of a reference. So how? Tell me, is fruit an object? Is fruit an object? Yes. Fruit is an object. Somebody said no. Fruit is an object. Object is a universal superclass. So this works. So now you have to open string class and look for a static method value of. Click on the, look for string. So here itself you can search for string. And you will find java.lang.string. Strings we will do tomorrow sometime. So tomorrow or day after, like depends on your speed. So here string and look for value of methods. Control F, search for value of methods. And you will find that there are again overloaded value of methods. So look for value of object. And here you will get the complete details. So read this. If the argument is null, meaning if you say SOP and null, if you add the null here, is it going to throw the null pointer exception? No, it will print the null value. But are we passing null or are we passing the actual fruit reference? Null or not null? Answer is actual fruit reference, which could be apple, orange, banana. So here it tells you, this is where it will call internally toString. Are you understanding this? So it's a standard popular question. So here, what was the question asked? How will it automatically invoke fruit.toString? So what is the answer to that? It goes from print stream. Print stream, you have a method, you have overloaded methods. So the one which we were looking for is println with object reference. They said object X. This internally calls, which method it internally calls, guys? No, whose method, but value of it just this. Whose method? It's a string classes. So it calls, it's a static method, string dot value of X. And this internally calls, or this internally returns null if the X is null, or means it's like a ternary. If it is null, it will return null, or otherwise it will call X.toString. And that is how that is how this is explained. So I'll stay quiet for a minute. Check it from the Java docs. I had already given, and some of you, 2-3 of you had already given me the answer. Very good. Excellent for them. Good going. Others also should follow them. When I give you a question and when I give you if the answer is in the Java docs, you should be confident to check the Java docs.
Butter masala hai.
Was that a question? Was there a question? Okay, so this is what is from my side. Clear or not clear? Understood? Understood the explanation? Yes or no, something. If it is not clear, you have to tell me, because later, again, I'm not going to come to this topic. Okay, because we use it every now and then you wonder why, what is happening. Nothing. It is the way the internally the API calls itself. API calls for the things. Now let us enter something else. Revision. We are still doing the revision. So here now this will work. For example, if you don't know, fruit F, suppose I say equal to new mango, works thanks to upcasting. And now I had asked you to add an additional method in the mango class, such as pulp. So anyone wants to tell me, if I say f.pulp, what will happen? Compile time error, runtime error, or none of above? Answer is compile time error. You'll 100% get Java C error. So anyone wants to tell me why? Why you will get a compiler error? Because how does Java compiler goes? By the type of the reference or type of the object? Type of the reference. So can you tell me what is the type of the reference here? Fruit. What is the type of the object here? Mango. But here is there, so Java compiler goes by the type of the reference. So where it will search for the pulp method? In the fruit class or in the mango class? In the fruit class. And tell me from your discussion of design and all that, is there a pulp method in the fruit class? Answer is no. Are you getting it? So the important statement is Java compiler resolves the method binding by the type of the reference. So it is like gone. So tell me, is there any solution to the problem? Can I remove this compiler error? Answer is yes. So what is it? Here is where downcasting is required. So when is downcasting required? When the superclass reference is pointing to subclass object and you are trying to access a subclass specific functionality or the new functionality which is added, 100% you require a typecast. So dictate the typecast. So here, what is that typecast? It's I want to call the mangoes method. So bring down the fruit to the mango, climb down the hierarchy. Here, and then if I say pulp, tell me, compile time error, runtime error, or the output? Answer is no error whatsoever. And you'll definitely see no error. When I say no error, I mean neither of compile time error nor runtime error. And you will see it is pulpable or whatever. I mean the output or the pulp method. Pulp of mango. Pulp method of mango will be called. 100% clear. No ambiguity, because people were asking me earlier for test method and toString method downcasting. There's no requirement. Okay, let me ask you. I'm freezing the question. The more and more downcasting, if you need to perform more and more downcasting, is it desirable or undesirable? Of course, undesirable. If the things are working naturally on their own, will you prefer this or would you prefer this downcasting? Of course, I hope you prefer the automatic working. So don't apply downcasting unless until it is really required. And that requirement is, I said it already 10 times, superclass reference pointing to subclass object and invoking, and for invoking, common functionality or additional functionality added in the subclass. Tell me, C for common, A for additional functionality, which is only available in the subclass. So this is done. Now go do further things. Here, tell me, it is a continuation of code. Okay, F equal to new orange. Error or no error? Answer is no error. It is again upcasting. What is your climbing up? From orange, you are going to fruit. So zero problem. You got that? So here, this is working. Now I'm doing something. So here I'm saying, this is what is the type here? Fruit. And here, I have done the downcasting from fruit to mango. So tell me, on this line or on this whole line, compile time error or no error? I'm getting both the answers. I did not reach the runtime. I'm not asking you about runtime. Hear my question. I'm asking you one at a time, so people don't get confused. No compile time error, because I like to call this as fooling the compiler. You're fooling the compiler. Why compiler is fooled? Because compiler goes by the reference type. So what is the type of the reference of F? Fruit. Can fruit be downcasted into a mango? Of course, yes. Fruit is above and mango is below. So this is where you are fooling the compiler. Compiler doesn't know which object and all that, because object creation and all happens at the runtime in Java. So this is definitely no compiler error. Why no compiler error? Because mango is a fruit. So that much information is sufficient for the compiler. But now tell me, at the runtime, will there be any runtime error or no runtime error also? Of course, you will get a runtime error. So what is that runtime error called? Exception. And which is the exception? The fully qualified name of the exception class is java.lang.classCastException. And anyone wants to tell me there would be an error message that this cannot be cast into this. So can you tell me what cannot be cast into what? So here, what is this thing you are saying? Orange cannot be cast to a mango. Absolutely right. What you have got here as a fruit is an orange, and you are trying to cast an orange into mango. Is orange a mango? Everyone knows the answer. See, when you take this physical examples, real life examples, you understand the point. So here the answer is, the error message is orange cannot be cast into mango, and your JVM will throw you out. Are we 100% clear about the stuff? That whenever you have a subclass specific functionality and you are accessing it with the superclass, you 100% need downcasting. So this is, in this case, did the downcasting work correctly without throwing an exception? Yes, because you had done the correct downcasting. Mango, you had an object of a mango and you were casting a mango into mango. Fine, absolutely. Mango is a mango. Fine. But here you had an orange object and that you were trying to illegally cast, invalidly cast into mango. And of course, the whole code blows up at the runtime, throwing you an exception. So that is why I'm asking you, what will you prefer? If there is an option, will you prefer upcasting or will you prefer downcasting? Of course, you will prefer upcasting, but these are the boundaries. These are the edge cases where you cannot use upcasting. You have the super type reference and you want to access subclass functionality. So the final question, is there any savior? Is there any solution to avoid the class cast exception? Of course, yes. And one keyword, there are two solutions. One out of two you have seen. So here, of course, there is a solution. And what is the solution? Nothing but instance of keyword. So what is instance of? It's a keyword in Java. It's actually a runtime operator. And it is used for what? It is used for RTTI. Those who are coming from C++, they should know. But I'm not talking to a C++ programmer alone. I'm talking to a I'm talking to a student who doesn't know CS, who has not done programming before or whatever I mean. So here, this is your runtime type information, runtime type information. So this is instance of, and this instance of returns you a Boolean true or false. And in case the instance, a reference is actually the instance of a specific one, then you go ahead with the downcasting. So instance of keyword must be used before upcasting or before downcasting or before both. Comparison operator, exactly, Kunal. So should it be done for the downcasting or before upcasting? Upcasting is going to 100% work. So forget that. So must be used before downcasting. Okay, to write a foolproof code or a fail-proof code. So tell me, now this is going to blow up. So I'll just pick up and tell me how will you apply it. So here, answer that. So give me the code. So in between you have to do something. So anyone wants to write that liner, one liner code, that check. Instance of checking, please. Right. I'm waiting for your answer. Exactly. So there is a if condition involved, right? So because here, so here start with if. On the left hand side of instance of, you place a reference whose runtime type information you want to check. So if instance of, what should I place on the right hand side? Fruit, object, mango, orange, or apple? Simple question, simple answer. Whose method you want to call? Where you want to downcast is mango. So here you have to check, is it actually pointing to the mango type of object? Is it a mango? So here you say it as mango. And if the answer is yes, then you can definitely pulp it. Pulp it as in you can execute the pulp method. Else you can say it is an invalid fruit. I cannot call the method. So you can simply say invalid fruit, or it's not a mango, or cannot be pulped, or whatever. So this is what we had talked about yesterday. So before I go to abstraction, tell me, important popular question. When will you need to apply downcasting? First question is about downcasting, and then the instance of, then I'll talk about instance of checking also. Anyone? Will you need it in the direct referencing or indirect referencing? I'm giving you the important interview question and answers right here. So I don't have to tell you after we finish with our sessions. Of course, in the indirect referencing. So here, when superclass reference is referring to what? Superclass object or subclass object? Subclass object. When I say this, if you are not understanding the English part, think of an example. Fruit F equal to new orange. Employee equal to new manager. Person P equal to new faculty. Those are the things. So when the superclass reference is referring to the subclass object, how do we describe it? Indirect. That is nothing but indirect referencing. Okay. So in this case, do you need it all the time for accessing the common functionality, or during for accessing the subclass specific functionality? Answer is not for common. For common, with upcasting and runtime what? Polymorphism, it works. So when superclass reference is referring to subclass object, and you want to invoke, you need to invoke subclass specific functionality. Okay, which is example pulp method. Okay, so if you want to call that, then downcasting is required. Required means essential. Without downcasting, you will get a compiler error. So after spending 1+ hour on this, are we finally clear? 100% of you. And then, is there any probable? Is it possible that if you do the wrong downcasting, is there any probable runtime error? Answer is yes. And which is that error you saw just now, we just talked about, is your class cast exception. Right? And is there any way to solution? Answer is yes. So before downcasting, check using instance of keyword. So this is what completes the revision, which I have taken it in more detail because I have yet to see your feedback, because it has yet to come to me. But Rohit sir was telling me like this, that some of you are saying that it is going fast. Guys, I may talk fast, but the same concept I repeat at least 10 times, especially the important ones. And you also have to pitch in. When I'm taking so many efforts for you, you cannot just say that, okay, I'm not understanding. You have to try. So you also need to put more efforts from your side. And if there is a specific, very specific doubt, I generally like to discuss it in more than, because already I've spent 1+ hour. So whatever remaining doubts, whatever remaining queries, do ask me inside within the lab session. Okay, that is how it goes. So now let us continue with abstraction. We just started talking about abstraction yesterday, but like I said, I mean, the time got over. So we are entering the last, I mean, it's not last, there are so many other concepts such as composition and aggregation and all that. But yes, technically speaking, abstraction is the fourth pillar: encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. So read the initial part of that README, which I had given you already yesterday. I've copied the same thing here. So regarding abstraction, I have discussed this. So just read this and we'll take it up from there. Okay, so abstraction is nothing but hiding the complexities from the end user. So start reading line by line. Which details you have to expose it to the user? You just have to expose the essential details, only things which are required. The internal working details about how you are solving a particular functionality, the how part, the implementation part can be all abstracted, can be all hidden. So non-essential details are not going to be shared to the user, otherwise user will feel lost in your system. If you are standing in a bank or in an ATM, and if you are supposed to know all the internal details and then only you can withdraw money, nobody will go to that ATM. Okay, so the interface part or the user interface part, the interaction part has to be kept simple. User just has to be told what is to be done. So like yesterday I was saying, user just needs to carry his or her card and ATM card and just have to know how much is the amount to withdraw or deposit, and has to know the ATM pin. Nothing else is required. So ATM is a very good example of abstraction in real life scenario. So you look at it as a money rendering machine. You don't worry about how it is worked, how it is wired internally, how this ATM is going to contact the underlying bank, how it is going to read the chip information and verify your identity. None of it is required. So here, this is all abstracted. Abstracted means hidden, separated from the client. And that is what the whole abstraction is all about. Okay. And like I said, like I told you yesterday, abstraction starts with at a method level. Then I'll talk about abstract classes, and then ultimately we are going to spend our rest of the day in interfaces. Okay, so here, when to use abstract classes and abstract methods. Abstract is a keyword, so that part is very easy. Concept part I'm trying to explain. So just go through this and I'll discuss the example and all that. So I will start reading with you. There are situations, real life situations, in which we will want to define a superclass which is having some functionality, but that functionality, the implementation, I don't want to impose. I don't want to write the implementation in the superclass because superclass does not have the idea about how to implement it. So Here I have given the example of a bounded shape. So I'm talking about a concept called as a bounded shape, a closed shape. So when I say bounded shape, think and answer. If I ask you to compute the area of the bounded shape, will it be possible? No. Ganesh, I'm not going to change the language in the theory session because it is unprofessional. You have to finally survive in the world, unfortunately, where the business language is English. I thought so. I did not want to say that to hurt anybody's feeling. I know sometimes the amount of English you have, you're not used to that because of your background, unfortunately. But I cannot take up this request. I can relax this in a lag session. Theory said, guys, finally you have to work in the corporate environment. And in the corporate environment, unfortunately, you might be looked down upon if you cannot speak in fluent English or if you cannot understand English properly. So I'm trying to prepare you. You should give me actually a credit. I'm teaching you lot of experience in hearing English also as well as Java. So I'm doing 2-in-1 job. In short, see the fun, leave the fun part of it because you're not understanding jokes looks like. Okay. So anyway, leave the joke part of it, but I'm not going to change the language in theory session to anything other than English. You give yourself practice and you come up to the level and you have recording facility in the physical batch, actual batch. Poor guys, they don't have the recording facility also. You can always pause and hear that statement again. Okay, sorry for that. In lab session, you can talk to me in English, Hindi, Marathi, whatever you feel comfortable, but not in theory. Going ahead. See, every time I don't read the chat messages, otherwise all I'll be reading is your chats. So sometimes I may not read your message. Going ahead. Yeah. So what I was saying is, if I say you have a class or you have a bounded shape, and if I ask you to compute the area, calculate the area. If you say that you want to calculate the area of a bounded shape, will you be able to do that? Answer is, I hope only one answer I got. If I say I have given you a bounded shape and give its area, try it out. You won't be able to unless and until you know whether this bounded shape is a circle, rectangle, triangle, or a 3D shape such as cuboid or cubes or whatever. Everyone understanding me? So you will say, fine, in bounded shape, I will not declare this area method at all. And when I come down to circle, come down means subclass. Bounded circle is a bounded shape. A rectangle is a bounded shape. So is a triangle. So when I define my circle, rectangle, and triangle, then I'll declare a method area. But if you do that, is it a correct object-oriented design or the wrong one? I'll repeat my question because I thought so. I felt so. My English is a problem rather than Java. I'll repeat the whole thing again, not in Hindi, Marathi, but in English again. Get to that. I said, bounded shape, area cannot be computed. So we remove the area method from bounded shape completely. And I simply add it in my circle, rectangle, and a triangle. So I'm asking you, will that be a correct design or will that be a wrong design? Correct or wrong? Don't say yes because I don't know what you said, you meant by yes. C for correct, W for wrong. People are saying correct design. Those who are saying wrong design are right. But some of you are saying correct design. Guys, wake up. What is it we have been saying for last 2 days during inheritance? Whatever are the common functionalities, where it should be declared. The common functionality has to be pushed to what? Common superclass. Okay, so that's a faulty design. So I'm saying, okay, go ahead. And I'll say, okay, I don't care. I will create a faulty design, but it gives me less headache. Fine. But so you have not added the area method in a bounded shape, for example. Okay. Now, and you wrote the classes. So what is the hierarchy? I'm going to show you all this, but after a minute. So what did you do? You created circle extends from shape, rectangle extends shape, triangle extends shape, and there you added your area functionality, pi r square or whatever. I mean, you know the formula. So now when I ask you, give me, okay, let me say this. I want you, so suppose, okay, let's just say the tester functionality, UI functionality, the driver code. There, I want to store all the shapes details together. So you should be able to store circle details, rectangle details, as well as whatever triangle details or all the shapes detail together. How will you do that? How will you keep all the details stored together? It's not a difficult question. Respond. I want to be stored, of course, an array. What will be the type of the array? Will it be a shape? No. Guys, when I say reference, that is not sufficient. Will it be an array, shape array, bounded shape array, circle array, rectangle array, or what was that, triangle array? Yes, shape array it will be. Because if you go for a circle, you can't store a triangle in it, and vice versa. Everyone agrees? You will be creating a shape array. Understood all the statements so far? Now I'm saying, then user has created, drawn some shapes. Drawn some shapes means what? Case 1, draw a rectangle. Case 2, draw a triangle. Case 3, something else. Okay. And you have got certain shapes stored. So in the shape array, what will you store? Reference or the object? R or O? Reference. And where would be actually these circles, rectangles, triangles sitting? Of course, in the heap, within the array of references or outside? Outside this. Somebody said array of shapes, even after spending so much time. Array of shapes is only for references. It is array of references separately. Just now we drew the memory picture, guys. So here, this will be array of references of the type, not fruit, but a shape. And what will be the objects? The object would be rectangle, square, triangle, and whatever. Okay, circles and all that, cylinders, any shape. Are you with me so far? You understood what I said so far? Now I'm telling you that give me a case 3, case 4, something, some option where user wants to see the computed area of all the shapes. I'll repeat the statement again. I'm saying you have a user requirement where user wants to see the areas of all the shapes which are available in the array. What display area, Garish? I told you already there is a method area. So don't just say display area. Write the Java code for me. Write the Java code that will display the area. Area is the method I've already said in my given problem. And that is returning the double area. So how will you do that? Right? Type out the code, I hope. Exactly, Rishikesh. But I want to, no. Talk to me in Java. Don't talk to me in English. English seems to be heavier for you. Yes, Shubham is right. For each bounded shape S in shapes. Very right, Shubham. Next line. Null checking. If S is not equal to null, and if you say SOP S dot area, wrong answer, Shubham. Second line you messed up. SOP S dot area. What will happen? Compile time error, runtime error, or will it print the area? Answer is compile time error. I spent 1.5 hours or maybe more because compiler goes by the type. Type of S is shape, as in bounded shape. And do we have a bounded in the area method in the bounded shape? Answer is no. So what is it you'll require is every time downcasting. But you can't do the downcasting in a safe manner unless and until, what is it you do? How do you check the runtime type information? Instance of. So can you see the bloated? Bloated means increased code. Every time we'll have to say if S instance of rectangle downcast it to the rectangle and call area. Else if S instance of circle, downcast it to circle and compute area. So tell me, is it a clean code or is it a messy code? Of course, it is a messy code. So is there any clean alternative, clean solution? Answer is yes. Enter abstraction. So tell me, when I say this, here, in the bounded shape, if I simply add the area definition, if I add the area method, my problem will be solved. Are you understanding what I said? I said, if I just add the common functionality in the superclass, my problem will be over. But then you have another problem. I don't know what should be the area inside the bounded shape. So I'll have to write the dummy implementation. Dummy means not real. Okay. So saying that return -1. Because actually in real world, no shapes area, no circles area will be -1. So I'll have to say return 0.0 or return -1. So think and answer. To create a clean solution, what is it I should add in the bounded shape? The declaration of the method area declaration or method declaration of the area, method definition, both or neither. It is method declaration. Definition you are saying. If you say method definition, I'll have to unnecessarily write return -1, return 0. So definition, I don't know, sitting in that bounded shape class, how to compute the area. Are you getting me? So naturally, what you don't want, you want to write a method without definition, but just the declaration, and that is nothing but your abstract method. Okay. So here, this is where we are entering abstraction, where we are hiding, where we are not supplying the implementation details in the superclass. Who will supply the implementation details, guys? Who will be supplying with the actual method definition is equal to this? Of course, the concrete. Concrete means non-abstract subclasses, which are your circles, rectangles, triangles, etc. Okay, so this is what we are going to develop today. But I have a question earlier. Okay, let's see whether anyone understands it. Just give me a second. I will show you something. So hear my English properly. I'll try to speak slower now since I know the problem. Okay, so tell me, in this example, see this. This is your familiar example. Okay, so here I have got comma fruits fruit. You got name, color, and weight. You got a suitable constructor. You have overridden a toString. And here we added the test method, but I don't know sitting in the fruit class which fruit it is. So I could not say whether it is a sweet or a bitter or a sour or a sweet and sour or whatever, or tangy or whatever. So I had to say here no specific test. And the same method was modified, that is overridden in mango class and orange class and apple class to return the exact tests. So tell me, is there something about this design which you can improve? Is there any scope for making it better, making it cleaner? Answer is yes. So tell me, where do you want to clean it up? In the superclass or in the subclass? I already got the answer. Yes, of course. So the answer is in the superclass. So think and answer. When we are writing this method test here, do you know what is going to be the test of a generic fruit? Answer is no. So what is it you would like to keep? Your choices are method declaration, which is simply public string test. Method definition, which returns no specific test. So method declaration, method definition, both or neither. Answer is just keep what is to be done, the method declaration part, and let the subclasses, the concrete classes, concrete foods, actual foods, let them implement, let them override the method to supply the actual definition. So this is where we will add the abstract keyword. That is your lab exercise because it is a continuation of yesterday's assignment. And you'll see adding abstraction is so easy. Understood the concept? Understood the concept here? So the superclass will simply tell what is to be done, and the same declaration will be forced. The subclasses cannot change the declaration, but the definition exactly. I was coming to that, Ashutosh. So here, the subclasses cannot modify the declaration. But here, the subclasses have to stick to the same method declaration, but the method definition can be added, can be supplied as it is required, as and when it is required. So the point is there a corresponding concept in C++? Of course, yes. In C++, C++ and Java both are object-oriented. So there is a concept of a pure virtual function where we write the function declaration and then assign equal to 0. But the concept is the same in Java, but there is no weird thing such as equal to 0. We have an abstract keyword, and that is what is our first starting point. So first I'll show you abstract methods. Then we'll discuss the abstract classes, which will give you the partial abstraction. And then we will come to interfaces to give you 100% abstraction. So that's the plan. So here, all of it is still continuation of, the name of the README should be inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. So here, I have given you already this. So look for abstract keyword. Look for this abstract. And here we enter the abstraction. So here I've talked about a different example, but I can change that. I'll give the different example for you to understand. You read this much. I'll frame the example. So in which class? In bounded shape. That bounded shape I'm going to discuss, or rather we are going to implement together. And in the lab session, you are going to add the abstraction to your fruit scenario. So I'm giving you the example in bounded shape class, add abstract method declaration. So what is that abstract method declaration? The method will have only declaration and the definition will be missing. And who will be supplying the concrete definition? The subclasses. In bounded shape class, add abstract method declaration. Since it does not know, it cannot supply implementation details. Okay, so that is it. So what it will be as an example. So this is all example. So how do you write it? Typically, you can have any access specifier, but other than private. I'll talk about it later. So let me say public. The keyword itself is abstract. Public abstract. What is that area method? Add abstract method declaration for area computation. Okay, so public abstract double, and the method name is, let's say, area. So here the syntax in C++ is different, equal to 0 and all, but here this is it. Java is simpler than C++. So this is completely equivalent to CPP's pure virtual function. Okay. So now this is the first statement. So what is abstract? A keyword. Where are we applying this keyword? To method, to class, or to whatever? Answer is, first I'm showing you abstract methods. So tell me, when you say abstract methods, what is the only thing you have to provide? Declaration or definition? Answer is only declaration. So is everyone clear with the syntax? So the question, popular means it's a trick question, basic question. What will happen if you write private and abstract methods? If you write a method which is tagged with private and abstract, compile time error or not, no error? No, that's not the question. The question is compile time error, runtime error, or none of above. Answer is Java compiler is much more stricter than C++ and all. It will throw you out and immediately you'll get it as a compile time error. Why? Because that you are already answering. The moment I say abstract, it is a useless method unless and until your subclass gives the concrete definition, right? But the moment you say private, are the private methods inherited and accessible in the subclasses? No. So this combination, private abstract, is a wrong combination. So private methods are inaccessible. And what you don't inherit, you cannot modify, you cannot implement. So this will throw you, or this will give you Java compiler error. So that is about your first level. So what we will do is, of course, I'll discuss the whole thing, and then writing the code is very easy after you understand the concept. So now the rule, the same rule is in C++ also. Read this carefully. Anytime in a class, you have either single or multiple abstract methods. The rule is the class itself has to be declared as an abstract class. So I'll continue with my example. This is that employee scenario, which you will solve as assignment, but currently not that. So here, public abstract class, bounded shape. Understood that? So abstract keyword can come where? Abstract keyword comes at the method level, and the moment you have abstract methods, the class has to be declared as an abstract class. Understood so far? Abstract method and abstract class and the syntax. Clear or not clear? Next one. Now the rules. Here, abstract class, the moment you hear the word abstract class, abstract means something is incomplete. So can you tell me in bounded shape, what is incomplete? What is abstract? The area computation functionality. So if Java compiler allows you to create the object, create the instance of it, anyone can create the object of bounded shape, and then they can call a method abstract method, which does not have any method definition. So it will be a fatal error. So Java being simpler and Java compiler being stricter, of course, the same logic is in C++ also. Abstract classes cannot be instantiated. So the moment you declare an abstract class, will you be able to say new bounded shape? Will you be able to say created instance? Answer is no. But can you create the abstract class reference to refer to non-abstract? Non-abstract meaning is concrete. The one who has implemented the functionality, the one who has removed the abstraction and actually computed the area. So can a abstract superclass reference directly means without typecasting, refer to concrete subclass instance? Answer is yes, 100%. Example makes it always better. So if I say bounded shape is equal to new bounded shape. Okay. And maybe some arguments here. Tell me, compile time error or no error? Quickly. There's nothing difficult in that. Compile time error. So will compiler crib for the LHS part or the RHS part? The reference part or the object part? LHS or RHS? RHS. So here you know the answer. So of course it is Java C error, and it is for RHS, invalid, illegal or invalid RHS, because you cannot create the instance of the abstract class. But what if I say, so or means if I say like this, Here, if I say bounded shape is equal to new circle, and some arguments here. And provided circle class has extended, circle is a bounded shape. And in circle, we know how to compute the area, pi r square, pi into radius square. So if I do this way, compile time error or no error? Answer is absolutely no error. That is what I said in my English statement. So if you have difficulty in, just understanding in English words, think in example, think in Java. That will make it easy. So abstract superclass reference, can it directly refer to concrete subclass instance? Very much yes. So is the statement and the example clear? Answer is no error. And just to complete the story, if I say SOP shape dot area. So first is the compiler. Compiler goes by the type. So what is the type of shape? Anyone wants to answer? What is the type of the shape here? As far as the compiler is concerned, what is the type of the shape? Compiler, I mean to. Shape's type is not circle. Wrong. It is bounded shape. So what will compiler check? Is there a area method in the bounded shape class? Yes. Fine. Abstract, it is fine. But if the method declaration exists, so compiles okay. But JVM goes by what? Runtime polymorphism. So can anyone tell me? The area method will be invoked dynamically. Dynamically means in the runtime. On which object? Simple question, simple answer. It is nothing but your runtime polymorphism as usual. Of course, on the circles object. And since this is resolved at the runtime, the whole approach is nothing but dynamic method dispatch is equal to runtime polymorphism. Clear so far? Are the answers, because we are going to set it up. Looks like maybe after the break or just before the break. Okay. Now, so here I had given the other examples, but currently you won't understand because we have not created that hierarchy. Now read the next rule. I'll just number the rules. Okay. So here, this is your abstract methods. So, it will be easier for you. Next point. Next point. Next point. Okay. So now the next point here. So read the next point carefully. These are all the typical interview questions, typical popular questions, very, very basic level questions, but yes, important. Can abstract classes contain concrete? Concrete means non-abstract methods. Answer is yes. So abstract classes can have their state. So they can have some concrete APIs also, concrete functionalities also. For example, when we start solving this bounded shape example, we will have toString. So in bounded shape class, we can have the concrete toString method, and then in circle, rectangle, cylinder and all that, you can say super.toString. So right now, don't worry about example, focus on the rule. Can abstract classes contain non-abstract methods? Answer is yes. The next question is typically I get a wrong answer there. Should abstract classes ever have a constructor? Will they ever need a constructor? Will you ever add the constructor in the abstract classes? Answer is yes. Sometimes that will be required. Because guys, see this. Imagine you have got an abstract class which is bounded shape, and the starting points of shape, top left corner of a, if it is a rectangle, top left corner. If it is a circle, the origin, the center. So that is common between any bounded shape. So that I'm going to keep it, that we are going to keep it in the superclass. And if it is private, will you be able to access those XY from circle or from triangle or your rectangle? Answer is no. So formally said, this is my formal statement. Abstract classes will have to provide a single constructor or overloaded constructors may be to initialize its own private data members. But some of you could be confused. What is she saying? On one side, she says you cannot instantiate the abstract class, and on the other side, you're talking about constructor. So I have written it. For creating what? For creating the abstract class instance or for creating concrete subclass instance? Answer is for creating concrete subclass instance. So again, this example you will not understand because we have not discussed this scenario. So I'll quote an example. So here you have a bounded shape. Okay. In bounded shape, we are going to code it after a while soon. So here, any shape can have the XY coordinates from where it can start drawing. So here we are going to add soon private int XY, like how you had done it for point. So tell me, that is going to be extended by a rectangle or a triangle, or you can say a circle or whatever. So what will be the class definition? Bounded shape will be superclass, rectangle, triangle, circle and all will be the subclasses. Everyone clear? So now I'm saying rectangle means I need the top left corner XY and the width and the height. So I can define my rectangle. For triangle, I just have to say, okay, X and Y may be the top coordinate, and I just can say supply the base and the height likewise in short. Or if it is a circle, once I have that center or origin point, I just define a radius. So tell me, who is going to initialize this XY? A constructor. So where should be the constructor? Should it be in that to initialize the constructor to initialize XY? Should it be in the bounded shape, rectangle or a triangle? B, R or T? Of course, in the bounded shape. Okay, so this is what I meant. So when we start writing it, it will be even clearer. So don't be fooled by the interview questions. So here, abstract classes will have to. If you create abstract class without the state, then you don't need a constructor. But if you have abstract class with the private state, tightly encapsulated state members, 100% you will require the constructor. Next one. Next point. Can a class be declared with two keywords, abstract as well as final? You'll say you don't know final, so I know that. Final is the class which can never be extended. See, so when you say abstract, the class is useless unless until it is extended. And final means no extension possible. So this is a wrong combination. When I say no, what it will throw is, it will give you Java compiler error. Like how I said, private and abstract methods, not possible, not allowed, not legal. A class cannot be declared as abstract and a final. Wait for 2 minutes, I'll discuss the final keyword also. And the last one, which is little hard to understand in core Java. So I'll generally discuss it in a enterprise Java, web programming in Java. Can you declare a abstract class in Java that is public abstract class A with a 100% concrete, means no abstraction at all? Is it possible? Answer is yes. It is a peculiar pattern, design pattern. So when I take you to web Java means enterprise Java, advanced Java, the first thing we learn in enterprise Java is servlets. So at that time, I'll discuss it. But here, I have given you all the rules, all the points. So you just have to go through this README and you will be like able to answer any questions. Of course, with examples and all we'll have. So this is about your abstract keyword. Let's have a 1 minute recap. And then I'll show you the corresponding keyword, opposite keywords such as final, and then we'll take a break. And after you come back from the break, we'll start the applying abstraction. We'll actually code it. So let me say this. Let me ask you, what is abstract? Is it a keyword or not? Answer is abstract is a keyword in Java. Everyone knows that. So tell me, this keyword can be applied at which levels? This abstract keyword appears where? Two places there are. Yes, tell me. Method and the class. Nowhere else it can come. Okay. So tell me, where will you declare the abstract methods in the typically the superclass or subclass? Superclass. And when you know the concrete implementation, or when you don't know, when you want to hide the concrete implementation? Supply or hide? Answer is when you want to hide. So in the example makes it clearer. In bounded shape, you don't know the implementation of the area method. So we will create it as a pure virtual function. Mute yourself, guys. You have to follow that much. So please. Okay. So in the bounded shape, what will you declare? You will declare the area method, compute area, calculate area function as abstract. So here tell me, can you ever have the abstract method with a private keyword? Can you have the combination of private and abstract? No. If you do that, compiler error, runtime error, or wrong output. Compile time error. Compiler's destructor. Now the next question. The moment you have the abstract methods, what will happen to the class? The class has to be declared as the abstract class. And if you don't declare it as an abstract class, what will you get? Again, the answer is compiler error. If you have a single or multiple abstract methods in a class and you don't declare the class as an abstract class, all you will get is a compiler error. Compiler will force you. Okay. Now the next question. Can you create the object as an instance of the abstract class? Absolutely not. Are you understanding? You can never say fruit after applying the abstraction to that fruit class, which you are going to do in the lab. Fruit f equal to new fruit will not work because abstract classes cannot be instantiated. But can you say fruit f equal to new apple, provided apple has implemented that test method? 100% yes. So how do you say formally? How do you explain your point in interviews where you have to talk in English, unfortunately? Answer is super abstract superclass reference can directly refer to concrete. Concrete means non-abstract. Concrete subclass object. So that is done automatically with the typecasting. So that is allowed. That is legal. You got that? Next one. When you write an abstract class, will you need to provide the constructor? Answer is yes, maybe. So can you tell me, when do you need to add the constructor, a parameterized constructor in the abstract class? Tell me. When you have the private state, if you have the private data members, which you have to initialize, when it is a tightly encapsulated abstract superclass, you will have to add the constructor to initialize its own state. But will that constructor be used to create abstract superclass instance or concrete subclass instance? A or C? A for abstract, C for concrete. Of course, concrete subclass instance. In short, when you make the class fruit as abstract because you don't know the test of it, you will make that method test as abstract. Fruit class will be automatically abstract. I mean, not automatically. You will have to declare the public abstract class fruit, and then you won't be able to say fruit f equal to new fruit, but you will be able to say fruit f equal to new mango, and that color and weight you will be supplying, and the subclass constructor will call super to initialize the name and the color and the weight of the fruit. I hope you understood. Next one. Wait, Danishwar. All these later confusions in the lab session. Tight encapsulation is private data member. So actually, those are totally two different points. So I don't know your confusion. Again, somebody is unmuted. I'll have to take a call that you can't unmute yourself. Guys, take care of such things. It is really irritating. Every time after a now and then I have to mute all. Anyway, so I was talking to Jnaneshwar. So here, Jnaneshwar, this thing. Tight encapsulation means what? Anyone wants to answer him? What is the meaning of tight encapsulation? Hiding the data members. Are you getting this? All data members are private. And abstraction is applicable to data members, Naneshwar, or the behavior. Abstraction is for what? Data members or functionality. It is for behavior. So there's no, I mean, you should not get confused. They are totally different things. So you are hiding the functionality. That is your abstraction. And hiding the data member or not allowing the external class to access it. That's your tight encapsulation. Okay, continue. What was that? Yeah. Can abstract class contain non-abstract methods as in concrete methods? Answer is yes. Because it may have the, what do you say, some behavior you already know. For example, in fruit class, you can continue to keep your toString method, which is concrete method, but simply hide or abstract test method. Everything will be clear with example. So, and the last point is, can you ever write a class as an abstract class, but which does not contain a single abstract method? Answer is yes, it is possible. I've given you as the last point. Answer is it is possible. But for actual examples, actual practice, you'll have to wait till advanced Java. HTTP servlet, or there is something called as GUI event adapters, window adapter, mouse adapter, key adapters, all these. Those are the classic examples. Those are all abstract classes. But if you check, it does not have a single abstract method. So the reason behind that and that pattern will be discussed later. So I know I've already, 10:03 the time is, but there is a, what do you say? Similar is not the word, opposite keyword. 100% concrete functionality. Anyone wants to answer, Nilesh? What is the meaning of 100% concrete functionality? All methods in a class non-abstract. Okay? Not non-abstract class. Somebody's wrong. No abstract method. That's your abstract. Opposite of abstract is concrete. Are you getting me, Nilesh? So when I say concrete, zero abstraction. That is what is 100% concrete. Okay. So this is means no abstract methods. Okay. Now let's talk about, I hope the explanation is clear. So now I'll just take a quick look at final, because final is a very easy keyword, and then we'll stop immediately for the break. So here, when you say, I generally discuss abstract and final together because they are 180 degrees opposite. So if you have understood abstract, you will understand final also very easily. But of course, somewhere it is different. So what is final? Final is a keyword in Java. But this final keyword can appear at 4 different places. So read only one at a time. Essentially, final means constant in Java. Okay. So anytime you want to declare a constant, the keyword to use is final. Read this. So first I'm talking about final primitive types. So here the rule is, rule in the sense, norm is, all constants are always declared as all uppercase. I've given you the norms for variable names. People are not still following it. Class names, method names. So I'm giving you constant is typically declared with all uppercase in Java. So when you do this, is it a read only or readable and writable? Data is read only or read write? R or RW? Answer is R. So the moment you try to modify the value, compiler will give you error. So final is nothing but constant. Keep it simple. That was about your final data member. Now, there is the final keyword can also be applied at the method level. You remember I said yesterday, there is no virtual keyword in Java. Implicitly, all Java methods are virtual, but you cannot override final methods, private static final methods. So final method means they cannot be overridden. What it means is a particular method is, is written, is implemented in its full and final form, you cannot modify the functionality. So here, example, if you say public final void show in your any superclass, the show method cannot be overridden by any of its subclasses. So you're stopping the method overriding the moment you say final. So final is not considered as method which can be overridden. And always in the interviews and all, you should supplement your answer with the example. So in multi-threading, you will know about these APIs. So when you open object class, and you will see wait, notify all methods which are declared in the final form. You cannot modify them. So let me ask you a simple question. Is the toString method final from the object class, final or not final? 100% not final. You have been overriding the toString method for last 2-3 days. So if it was final, how you could override, right? Simple. Next one. Where else a final keyword can come? Final classes also exist. Final keyword can come at the data member, methods, as well as classes. So when you say a final class, you are stopping the inheritance hierarchy there. Meaning, final classes cannot be extended. So what are the good examples of final classes? There are so many final classes in Java. One of the examples, which we will cover maybe tomorrow, string handling, string, string buffer, string builder. Those are all the final classes. So if you try to write this public class, my string extends from the string. Will it be allowed or will it fail? Answer is of course. Final classes cannot be extended. So you'll definitely get Java compiler error. And the last statement before the break, like how I showed you, you have final primitive types. So will you be able to assign the final keyword to reference type of variable also? Answer is yes. So when you say final and the reference type of variable, again it is a constant. So such references cannot be reassigned. Okay, so understand with the example and I'll stop immediately. So imagine you have got a simple hierarchy. Employee extended by manager and employee extended by the worker. So don't read my comments. You do your own thinking. Will I be able to use employee is equal to new manager? Is it possible or not possible? Of course, yes. We have spent entire yesterday and today 2 hours. Superclass reference can refer to subclass object. Then later, will I be able to say E is equal to new worker? Don't read the comment. Form your own opinion. Will I be able to say E is equal to new worker? Yes or no? Of course, yes. 100% yes. Because, of course, the manager object will be marked for garbage collection because it has lost the reference. But this is possible. But the moment I add a final keyword, what's the meaning of final? Constant. So what is the value of the constant? Address. So now E variable is holding the value of your manager object. And can you change that value? Assign it to some other object so that you change the value? Answer is no. And that is when you'll get a compiler error. Okay. So this is where I'm stopping. We'll have a hour's break. So we'll resume at 11:05. And then if you get time, you can go through this. All this has been already shared. And if there are any concrete questions, actual questions, when I say concrete questions, precise questions, I'll answer them. So let's have a break and we'll resume at 11:05. Can final be overloaded? Yes. Answer to your question is yes. Akshay, I have got almost the same this. Okay, some few words maybe have changed. I'll send you. This is already shared, Akshay, yesterday and day before, but I'm sending you the latest copy. Oh, have I? Yeah, I understood you. No, but somebody has sent me a direct message. So don't send me direct messages, guys. I've told you so many times. Please stop sending direct messages, please. I'm sending it to everyone. Give me a sec. So day 6 help. Yeah. Okay, I've sent you. So if you want, you can download it and look at it. So yeah, you're welcome. So let's resume in an hour around 10:05. I'm so sorry, 11:05, 11:06. We'll resume. That will be all.